Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here kicking off weekend number 4 of our F2 2021 Oscar Piastri career mode. Yesterday we head back to, is it the home of Formula 1? I'd say Silverstone is probably the home of Formula 1 here. We've had some up and down race weekends so far. Qualifying definitely hasn't been our strongest point, but a massive thank you as well to all of you guys for the insane continued support at the moment. At the time of recording this, we're just under 100 away from 34,000 subscribers. You know, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. Try and help us get one step closer. We're trying to hit 50k by the end of the year. But yeah, Silverstone though this weekend, P5 in the championship, a little way off the top runners. We need a good weekend here. Let's dive in to qualifying. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day at the British Grand Prix, and fingers crossed this weekend we can actually try and hook up a decent qualifying lap here. Not really too sure which direction we want to take the setup. I run 52% brake bias there, I almost forgot about that. But yeah, just trying to make a few sort of subtle tweaks now to the car more and more as we're slowly learning how it handles here on F1 at 2021. But yeah, Silverstone though, looks like we're going to see some changeable conditions this weekend. Sprint Race 2 could be an exciting one, so make sure you're back here tomorrow, definitely, for that one. But we've got Sprint Race 1, first of all, of course, here to kickstart the weekend. But before that, we've got to get our one-shot qualifying session done. Let's see how we can try and put the car on the grid this weekend. Turn 1 is not flat out like it is in a Formula 1 car here, and a little bit wide through Turn 2. As we just head into the loop there, a bit of a mistake on the way in. Yeah, might need to concentrate on this lap. You guys love the sweat mode qualis in the My Team career mode, so maybe I'll have to start doing that here for F2 as well. There is, and yeah, Fittipaldi just in front of us there, always right at the front so far this season. Come on, get the nose in as we head through the middle sector. As we get ready to head out onto the old start-finish straight here, we are closing up a little bit again on Fittipaldi there, just trying to get the power down. And so far the lap hasn't actually been too bad. We made a couple of small errors, but we've been brave in a few places. This helped us gain a bit of time. Big lift though through the old Turn 1. That is definitely not flat out in a Formula 2 car here, but we are slowly but surely closing back in that gap to Fittipaldi here. We've got to be really brave on corner entry. Oh, a little bit wide through there. That's going to completely upset our rhythm through the rest of Maggots and Beckett's complex there. But activate the DRS once more as we head down the back straight. We're already 3/10 off behind Fittipaldi here, so as long as we don't do anything stupid in the final sector, we're going to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. Just a couple more corners to go, running all over that exit curb there, as we've just got a couple more turns. It looks like David Beckman has snuck up into the provisional lead of the session. They're really late on the brakes though through the final chicane. Can we carry the speed back up towards the line? It's P9. I'll take that rather happily because it's a front row start for the sprint.
The grid is all set for the race tomorrow, but before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top 3, which are Fiscal, Beckman and Lorim Zendelli. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye.
Well, there we go then. One-shot qualifying done and dusted for the British Grand Prix. And it is Enzo Fittipaldi who takes home yet another pole there ahead of the two Germans of David Beckman and Lorim Zendelli there. Lawson and Vips for High-Tech 4th and 5th. Ahead of Vachor, Porcher, Deleda, myself and Bent Viscal rounding out the top 10. But that means now, of course, Fittipaldi with a 13-point lead over Lawson and Zendelli there. We're 42 back at the moment. We need to try and beat Richard Vachor first and then focus on closing back up the gap to the top guys. And then, yeah, constructors-wise, you can see Prema a bit of no man's land at the moment. Schwartzman just simply isn't pulling his weight, and it looks like that's set to continue. P12 for him. Let's dive in then here to Sprint Race 1, but first, a quick word from our partner. I've partnered up with the F1 store for 2022, the best place to buy Formula 1 merchandise. Currently, they have an incredible end-of-year sale on with plenty of 2021 lines available and up to 40% off with official merch available from every Formula 1 team. If you're interested, click the link at the top of the description or in the pinned comment down below to help support the channel.
It's Sunday, and that means it's race time here in Silverstone. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the race. Five miles out from Towcester, this icon of British motorsport heritage comprises 18 corners over 3.6 miles of circuit. Silverstone has been through several changes over its lifetime, with the start line now leading into Abbey, a fast right-hander for turn 1. But still there, of course, is the circuit's most famous and iconic sequence of corners, starting at Maggots, turn 10. Joining me today in the commentary box is former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. We all know the circuit so well, Davide. What's got your attention today?
Always a pleasure, Alex. Everyone looks forward to Silverstone, and with such an intriguing grid, I think the fans will be excited for the start of today's race. We know these young drivers are hungry to prove themselves. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some more history being made today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well here we are then, trackside, ready for sprint race 1 of the weekend, and I did not know there was a town called Towcester near the British Grand Prix circuit. Let me know down in the comments below if you knew that one. I also didn't know this was Sunday. Alex Jakes, yeah, clearly getting his days muddled up there, because it is definitely Saturday morning here for the British GP. But yeah, round 1 of the weekend, race 10 of the season. It seems mad we're already 10 races in to this F2 campaign. I'm loving it though, hopefully you guys are as well. Of course, yeah, we'll be getting through plenty more here from Formula 2. But yeah, starting on the front row for the second time this season. Didn't quite go how we wanted it to back in Baku, but yeah, fingers crossed today we can try and convert it into the very least another podium here this weekend. 5 red lights then on the grid. Bent Viscala laid alongside us, and it is gonna be a very, very good start there. Look at that. You guys always say I get terrible starts, but straight past Bent Viscala as we head in towards turn 1, but a big old squeeze from Teo Porcher, who tried to make it work up the inside, so Bent Viscala finds the room and holds back onto the lead there, and genuinely no idea how there was no contact there. I thought that was going to be us as an absolute goner. Porcher is being so aggressive off the start of this race. They're again trying to put the nose up the inside through turn 3, turn 4 there as we head out of the loop there. But yeah, Teo Porcher clearly hungry to try and push his way up the order here. It's been an interesting start to the year for young Teo. Of course, had a horrible weekend back at Monaco, and of course only with 8 rounds this year, it is so difficult to, you can't really afford to have a race weekend where you score no points whatsoever. This is what led to Oscar Piastri being able to dominate the real-life 2021 campaign in a way we just haven't been able to so far here on this career mode. But we are just behind Bent Viscala. Like I said, this weekend needs to be the weekend where we start to turn it around as we head through Maggots, and Beckett's really trying to attack the curbs on lap 1, still running a bit wide through there, and it's compromising my exit. As you can see, almost tipped the wheel on the grass. That's going to leave us a bit vulnerable to Porcher here as we head down the back straightaway, but no DRS. You can see him gaining, but looks like we're going to be able to live and defend for lap 1 at the very least. They're somehow, yeah, defending from a lot of attacks from Teo Porcher early on in this race. Make sure you get it slowed down in towards the final chicane. Really difficult, actually, to hook that up in an F2 car, and then even more difficult to hook up the exit there as Bent Viscala leads by 1.3 at the end of lap 1. We've got Porcher still all over the back of us, but we have survived the opening lap, and we've held on to track position. Let's try and close up the gap to the Trident. Never thought I'd say these words, but I'm genuinely struggling to keep up with Bent Viscala early on in this race. The AI didn't have the best pace during qualifying, despite obviously us making a couple of mistakes. We were still able to keep it mid-pack. Yeah, Bent Viscala dropped another 7 tenths on us on that lap, so we need to try and get our head down and focus on hitting all of our marks. I think when we get it hooked up, we are definitely at least on par there, but it's just in the traction zones. Where is Bent Viscala finding all that pace, just slingshotting himself out onto the straightaways here? We need to really dig deep. Purple through sector 1 though, that's a good way to start. This is a bit more like it though, coming towards the end of lap 3. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. We're starting to be able to lean on the car a little bit more there. Don't overstep the mark though, Matt. This thing will quite easily fling you off at high speed if you get it wrong. But yeah, through the final couple of corners though, Bent Viscala's still just a little way up the road. Don't think we can really match the AI through that final corner. But it is fastest lap of the day there.
Made by 5.8 seconds.
Schwartzman 5.8 seconds back as well. But yeah, now that is exactly what we need to do early on here. Just so, you know, try and get on the radio to Bent Viscalis. Look at that, completely chucked it through turn 1. Yeah, we need Trident on the radio telling Bent Viscal we've gone purple. Just to sort of add that bit of pressure to the young Dutchman. Really starting to think this might be the key in these Formula 2 cars. You've really got to try and learn which curves you can really attack here. You know, F1 cars on F1 2021 don't like a lot of them. You can just see there, heading through the final chicane. We are really just trying to ride those curves as best as possible. Still running a little bit wide there, but another 10th fastest there at the end of that lap. Oh, a bit of a double correction through turn 1 there. Puts us a bit out wide. But we're almost back within the DRS range now of Bent Viscal. And this is exactly what I need. I think the key today is going to be trying to get back within that DRS range, but also not burning out these tyres too much. We're leaning on them a lot early on. Tyre wear normally around Silverstone isn't too bad there, as you just run a little bit wide out through the old turn 1. But yeah, half race distance, tyres only on 20%. Yeah, we can lean on these all day till Sunday. Yellow flags out though as we head out onto the hangar straight once more. It's one person towards the rear of the field. Not too sure who that is. Whatever it is, they're causing a bit of a roadblock there. I want to say it's... I don't even know what I want to say that is. I'm not sure which team is a fairly light blue. It's Guan Yu Zhou, of course it's Virtuosi. Yeah, really hasn't had the impact he would have wanted this year, and the young Chinese driver, of course, stalled it, I want to say, back in Sprint Race 1 of the real British Grand Prix. Is out here as well. Oh, this might now be the chance. 9/10 back from Bent Viscal as we head in towards Maggots and Beckett. But that will now mean we're inside the DRS detection range. Let's just see how much more time it gives us there. As you can see, we're still pushing up right towards the curbing on the exit. But yeah, about 9/10 back as we head out onto the hangar straight. And that gap's going to come down by about 3/10, I want to say, by the end of it. There we gain a little bit more into brakes, but we run a bit wide. Oh, a little snap of oversteer there. Goes to show just how hard we're pushing this thing early on. But yeah, we are definitely now closing in on Bent Viscal here. Could we finally be on for our first win of the year? That's how hard we're pushing. Another fastest lap, and it's got a 2:12 in it. That's the sign.
Behind is 9.8 seconds.
I'm really not too bothered where Schwartzman is at the moment, team. I can't lie. But yeah, the 2:12 in the lap time there clearly means this is on. Oh, we are just sticking to the back of Bent Viscal like glue at the moment. As we come towards the end of lap 7 then of the British Grand Prix, as long as we get a nice tidy run, brake just that little bit earlier, tip the nose in. Oh, big snap though on the exit. We are absolutely pushing this Prema to and maybe just a little bit beyond the limits at the moment as we try to close up to the Trident. I haven't driven a car this hard on F1 2021 in as long as I can remember here, but it is so satisfying when this thing does grip up there. Not quite close enough to go for a send in towards the final couple of corners, but again we mount the curbs through the final chicane there. But this is just where Bent Viscal has always been able to get it a bit more hooked up than me, and you can see for now he holds on just 0.02 off our PB there at the end of that lap. We got Roy Nassani now out of the Grand Prix as well. That's not exactly how he would have wanted to end the weekend for him and, or the race I should say, for him and Dams. That shouldn't be him out for the rest of the weekend. But anyway, yeah, all over the back still of Viscal. Are we going to be able to get a run out onto the Wellington straight? There we get the power down rather nicely. Activate the DRS. Use all of the curbing as we now head down the Wellington straight, though gaining on the Trident. But again, just not quite close enough just yet. We've seen Premas come together down in towards this middle sector of the lap, but I don't think, well, hopefully we won't come together with Bent Viscal. They're really gone on the power though, nice and early as we head down the old start-finish straight. Surely we're not going to see a Hamilton-Verstappen style run here. Not quite got the power to have a look up the inside in towards the corner of there. Of course, equal machinery from myself and Viscal means we're just relying on the slipstream rather than any more engine grunt or a little bit lower aero here. But as we head now through Maggots and Beckett's once more, surely now, unless we make another mistake, this has got to be the run on the young Dutchman. We've got yellow flags out. We're not going to be able to go for the run just yet. But we are gaining on Bent Viscal. Green flags once more. And we're immediately going to capitalise on that round the outside. Down at the end of the hangar straight there. We just don't quite have the grip. We've kept the nose. Alongside, though, the young Dutchman who's going to try and hook it up round the outside. Gives us a fair squeeze to the inside curb. And we'll try and do the up and under on him. This is a brilliant battle with Bent Viscal. And we don't make the move like that time round. 3 laps to go now of the British Grand Prix, and are we going to be able to again get close enough as we head down in towards the loop?
Just focus on the driving.
Team not worried about the tyres, as look at that, almost went for a move up the inside in towards turn 3 there, but Bent Viscal, I mean, none of that one, just cut across my nose at the very last moment, but again, we're all over the back of him as we head out onto the Wellington straight. Again, another snap of oversteer there as the back end tries to break away. This time around, though, we're a whole lot closer as we head down in towards Sector 2. Up the inside we go. There is contact. I said I'd hope there wasn't, but we do get a little bit of contact with Bent Viscal as he tried to turn in, but we got the nose up the inside. We are now up into the lead of the British Grand Prix, and that has been, I think, one of the best battles I've had here so far, definitely in the F2 career mode as well. We've had so many memorable moments from the opening few races, but that one is certainly right up there. But we now lead with just 2 laps to go. The first sprint race here in Silverstone. Can we hang on? Just over a lap to go then here from Silverstone. I tell you what, Bent Viscal might have lost the lead, but he has not given up hope late on in this race. He is still hanging all over the back of me as we head out onto the hangar straight for the penultimate time here for sprint race 1. And you can see with the DRS, I think that Trident might be running even less aero than I am, because he seems to be taking more out of me than I was able to out of him there. But in towards the final couple of corners, look at that, Bent Viscal all over the back of us once more. Small lock up at the rears there, but luckily we don't make too much of a hash of it as we round the final turn. About to start the last lap then, 3.6 miles to go here from Silverstone.
Final lap of the race.
Team just reminding us there, it is in fact the final lap, but can we hang on? Bit of a trim through turn 1 there as we take a lot of curb. Run it out a little bit wide out of turn 2 there, but make sure we get it rotated back over to the left for the loop. Keep it tidy. We don't need any dramatics through here, unless Bent Viscal wanted to go for a real send. There was never going to be a move on there, but he's still all over the back of me. As we head out onto the Wellington straight here, we're going to have to weave to break the slipstream just a little bit there. Bent Viscal comes across with us, but we will still hang on by the time we make it to the braking zone there. But look at how close he was into the corner. I think he wanted to go for a send or at least show the nose, but absolutely no budge in there. We're always going to give him the squeeze towards the apex and just wasn't quite able to get far enough alongside. Doesn't get the best run out down the old start finish straight here, and Bent Viscal, he now really needs either a mistake from us or a mega run out of Maggotton Beckett's here. We get a nice run through the old turn 1, and this will be where his tyres will start to bleed as he tries to sit close through the S's there. Down 1 gear through the first, down another gear through the second there. Get it rotated over that curb, and we haven't hit the apex through the final part there. We do run a little bit wide out onto grass, and that might be the open invitation that Bent Viscal needs here. Look at the run he's going to get. We force him to the outside down the hangar straightaway here. Just 1 more sector to go of the British Grand Prix. Give him the room on the outside like he's done with us there. We just about... Oh, there's contact in towards the final couple of corners. This has been a fantastic race with Bent Viscal, but do what he did to us. Park it on the apex of the final corner there, and round in the final turn, we finally win.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
That's a fantastic performance from Prema. It hardly looked in doubt. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way round.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. And now a look at the team standings. It was also a strong race from Trident this weekend. Fantastic work from the Italian team to move themselves further up the table. After all this drama, you'll be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the first race here from Formula 2, and finally, we get ourselves the dub there. Bent Viscal less than 2/10 back at the finish, though. I genuinely didn't think that last lap would be as close as it was there. But is that race of the season so far? Let me know down in the comments below there. Bent Viscal P2, Teo Porcher P3, less than a second away from the win there. Alessio Deleda, Richard Verschoor, Yuri Vips, Liam Lawson, David Beckman round out your point scorers there with Fittipaldi and Sato rounding out our top 10. It will be Sato and Fittipaldi then that make up the front row for Sprint Race 2 that of course will go live tomorrow morning. Larim Zendelli, very unlucky there. 13th in the end from 8th on the grid means his weekend might all be done and dusted, and you can see further down Marcus Armstrong over a minute away in the end there. I think he was the only car that had to pit, and then Nissany and Guan Yu Zhou both not making it to the checkered flag. But that means championship-wise, we make a big gain towards the front runners there. You can see, yeah, up past Richard Verschoor. That's exactly what I aimed for at the start of the weekend. And if Zendelli is starting outside the top 10 for race 2, we might be able to gain some more points on him as well there. Fittipaldi still 11 clear of Liam Lawson though. But yeah, we're just 25 points back now after that solid result. Don't think there's any other movers further down the order. Teams-wise, Trident Jump Race Lab as well. As yeah, we slowly but surely try to close up the gap. But MP and High Tech are looking so good there with two drivers constantly able to deliver. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning with Sprint Race 2. Tomorrow afternoon with more My Team as well. There's plenty of Formula 1 content to keep you guys going through the winter break. And yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.